Here's an AMI This Week shortcut with Jillian Gillis.
Hey, I'm Kim.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And this is Triple Cripples.
We're Black, we are women, and we're disabled.
This week, I want to introduce you to the Triple Cripples from London, England. Jumoke, Abdullahi, and Kim Oliver.
I'm looking to join the gym, they're like,
why?
The Triple Cripples are content creators, writers, speakers, and consultants who will be featured on an upcoming episode of AMI TV's In Focus. Jumoke contracted polio before her first birthday. Kim was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in her mid-20s.
I think you forget you're in a wheelchair, so really you need to lower those
Madam, you forget yourself.
The two women joined forces with a common goal: to work at increasing the visibility and highlighting the narratives of Black and non-Black women, femmes, and non-binary people of color living with disabilities. Kim explains.
We had the same need. There was the same gap. There was the same absence of representation, of narratives, of stories, of things to relate to. And I understood the weight, and we both understood the weight and the gravity of what needed to be done. And so we decided to do something. We had a loose plan, but we knew that talking about everything and anything related to our intersectional experience as Black disabled women was needed.
Jumoke remembers that the name The Triple Cripples began as a bit of fun.
Kim had said, tongue-in-cheek, the Triple Cripples, and we just burst out laughing because, first of all, it rhymes, and I love things that rhyme. And it also kind of speaks to the problem because you can't, hope to solve a problem until you name it. And so there's an idea that there should be three people because it's the Triple Cripples, but actually the triple talks to the three layers of marginalization due to ability, gender, and race. After we had our, giggling fit, it was, very apparent that this was quite a powerful name because, especially with the big C, it's something that people are rather taken aback, but it makes people take notice, right?
Since forming in 2018, the women have received growing recognition and been featured on international platforms like the BBC, Al Jazeera Plus, and Vogue. They've also consulted with a variety of academic and corporate organizations, but they dream of a future where they won't be needed.
I would hope that Jumoke and I don't have to exist in the form of the Triple Cripples. I'd hope that the world has moved to a place where not just the economy, but the ecology, the systems, the people, the cultures recognize our existence as valid just because we are here, right? Recognizes, as Alice Wong says, the oracle within us, but also recognizes us in our normalcy and allows us to be full human beings enough to just be. It's difficult for me as a Black woman or someone who's been racialized for generations as Black. In my DNA now, I recognize those things, right? I recognize those inequities. And so envisioning a world where I didn't have to label myself or I wasn't labeled, even in binary terms, is such a difficult feat for me because for the longest while, epigenetically, I don't know what that is. I don't know what freedom could really look like. I don't know what a life of kind of true empowerment and not the heavy weights of all of these labels and these ideas that folks have about me and I now have imbued and have about myself. I don't know really what that would look like. And so I would like for future generations, even if everything's not perfect, to at least have lived in a world for long enough and a world that had enough visual representation, systemic representation, that allows them to envision what true freedom is really like in practical ways, right? And to have been able to experience semblances of that allow them to pass that on and carry the baton. That would be phenomenal. For me, that being able to actually feel what freedom is like in order to envision an even greater freedom.
I think it was Toni Morrison, rest her beautiful soul, that the goal of freedom, or to be free, means that you now in turn have to free somebody else. So I would hope that through our actions, through the creation and the existence of the Triple Cripples, that the generations behind us, but also the generations that are here, because you're often, affected by your contemporaries, those in which you are alive and grow at the exact same time, that they are able to be made freer by our actions. The vision and the freedom to really think of things as possible that we might not have even been able to utter, let alone think of, dream of, that the creation of Triple Cripples has been to free others, not only in their material sense, but also the ways in which that they see themselves and the ways in which they know themselves to be and have certain expectations that people conduct themselves around them as well. Because with disability, often it's a case of, I don't want these crumbs, but this is all I'm going to get, so I will accept it, where they have the freedom to demand the whole cake.
To hear more from the Triple Cripples, watch In Focus this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern on AMI TV.
Triple Cripples for life. Yeah.